Tuvalu, and welcome back to Star Trek Season 2, Episode 6, The Doomsday Machine, or as the real fans know it, also Episode 6. This one's got the same number if you go production or episodic order, which it took like 30 episodes for that to happen, but now it seems to be happening quite a lot. Now, excuse me where I set up the actual live stream, or the video, because I realized I forgot to do that, and I couldn't do that while you were listening to the engine hums. There we go. Yes, the Doomsday Machine. Another iconic episode. If you don't know what we're doing today, though, we are going to be watching the Doomsday Machine, and we are basically going to be recording an audio commentary track live. And wow, my voice is hoarse today. That's what happens when you talk all day. Yes, for legal reasons, of course, I can't just stream an episode of Doctor Who, but more relevantly of Star Trek. So it's bring your own video, bring your own audio. In the description, there's a link to TOS on Paramount+, although I am using rips from old Blu-rays. Additionally, I will be watching the remastered version, which it doesn't matter for staying synced. It only matters, if I comment on a visual effect, you'll be seeing something different. But that does matter a bit here with the Doomsday Machine, as we see the titular machine quite a lot. If you've never seen it before, it's the same general design between classic and modern, but it looks quite different. For one, it's just not having green screen artifacts, but it's a little bluer, so it will matter. Also, this is the episode. That's the reason I know as a kid I watched the remastered, because the Doomsday Machine I recognize from the remastered, but not the original. And yeah, I think that's everything in a little bit. We're going to do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, everyone's going to hit play, and then we're going to be synced up as I move my mouse. Note to self, no more thumbnails where you can't easily hide the mouse behind something. Gosh dang it, come on. No? Are you not going to... What have I done? All right, there we go. Now the time bar's up. Yeah, I mean, gosh, my voice is hoarse. I went to the store with my wife, and then we did some baking. We made a cake, rhubarb cake, for a thing today, and then I made rhubarb bars that are cooling now, and so I've done a lot of talking. The rhubarb bars were much more successful than last time. Long-term viewers might remember the incident where I made rhubarb bars for the first time, and I used all of the final freshly cut rhubarb harvest. We got some rhubarb in our backyard. That's what we're using now. We preserved it. You throw it in a bag and put it in the freezer. It's so easy. But I bite that, and I made this beautiful rhubarb sauce to go on the bars. And then I couldn't figure out how to get it off the blender, and I ended up taking apart the bottom of the blender, lifting it up, and then all that beautiful sauce went everywhere over the counter. That fresh cut, the entire harvest, absolutely ruined. And I had to break out rhubarb from the freezer, which tasted the same but didn't look as good. I was very sad. But no, now it worked. And of course, we're almost out of rhubarb because some idiot wasted the last harvest of the year. But yeah, no, that's been my day. I got, as I said, stuff. I get to see Doctor Who. My Doctor Who brother is in town, so we'll be seeing him. Spoilers for tomorrow's stream, where I don't know how we're going to do it, but we are going to do 42 with him. He's able to stream. Yeah, though, I think I'm probably just going to go straight into this one. I've rambled enough. You probably know what's going on. Although, being said, it's the Doomsday Machine, so I expect maybe you don't know what's going on. Maybe this one is your first time. But as I said before, we're about to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, we'll hit play. Don't skip the intro. Don't do anything like that. Just let it play. I will play a blurred version of the episode in the background that'll also help people stay synced. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. There we go. There we go. They always start with just a little bit of black to throw me off. Oh my goodness, guess who didn't set up the episode? Oh wait, no, there it is. Okay, don't pause. There you go. Yeah, no, OBS is good now. It took a while for some reason. Right? Okay, good. It is working. Why is the bridge heavily armed today? What is this bridge? Uhura's gone. You've got this lady. You've got 2 armed guards. Nice, very poorly done asteroids. I like only a Nova can destroy a star like that. And sure, it's secret, but like 2 years ago, didn't we put a bomb in Kronos? I know we don't like to think about that, but... This is why I watch the remasters, though. The ships, I think, just look so much better. Because you don't have all that artifacts of the... of green screens and stuff from the 60s. And usually I will go with the originals, but not here. Oh, and we've got his green shirt. This might be the first time we've seen it. I don't recall seeing it before. No, really, what is this bridge crew? I don't think Sulu or Chekhov are here either. I might be interested to read about that. Maybe it's like a vacation. Because I don't actually know much about the filming, the production of Star Trek back in the day. I really just know about Doctor Who in the 60s. If that's the case, Spock, which it is, she got off lucky. That thing destroyed a planet. Look at the constellation. Which I'm amazed Eagle Moss doesn't sell me a damaged one. Oh no, Sulu is here. But just Sulu. They don't even have bones on the bridge. And this one, I think, is pretty straight into the action. I think it's well-paced. I mentioned last time... yes, I'm just confused. OBS doesn't pick up the stars. I think OBS is blurring the star field out of existence. Huh. But anyway, that I don't rate this episode as highly as a lot of others. That's my memory. I think we might settle on something else this watch through. I don't really remember why it wasn't really doing it for me, though. Part of it might be the Doomsday machine, which, like, I love my Eagle Moss model, but I can sometimes bounce back and forth if it's actually realized well in the show, like, remastered or not. And I don't remember, I think we spent a lot of time with Matt Decker, and I wasn't a big fan of him. Isn't Decker the name of, like, the captain from the motion picture, too? Is that, like, his son or something? Oh, gosh, there's a memory. Or do they just reuse the name? Star Trek, Matt Decker. Brilliant soundtrack. He does not have a kid, according to Memory Alpha, so I guess they just reused the name. Or I'm wrong. Have we had an episode without Uhura? Not in my head. Oh, here we go. Finally giving Sulu a line. I like as well, I just want to remember, anytime the Enterprise's life support system is in danger, that ship right there has functioning life support on all levels except the bridge, including the missing ones. I don't know what it looked like in the original, but, Are they just giving her a vacation? Because it's 60 episodes. You had to be working... no, it's not. It's 30 episodes. You had to be working, like, most of the year. I really like that damaged nacelle. And the remastered, though, you could see sort of inner workings you never got to see in the original. Scotty also getting more screen time. I wonder... Because I don't think he was really in Season 1 much. But he's been big in a few of these episodes. He's going to be big in the focus of the next episode. I wonder if they just decided to prioritize the character more. Honestly, maybe just do that for a lot of their secondary cast. Or if after this next episode he just goes away. They wanted to characterize him a bit more. It might also have something to do with the new engineering set, which... I quite like this set. I like the multi-level. I like that ladder thing. It's giving me kind of like more advanced NX vibes, which of course is opposite of how it was designed, but it really helps. I don't know. I love the vibes. I can see how you go into TNG with the multi-tiered things. I really like it. How do you know? That's fine, just hold your breath. You know what? They've actually, it's pretty simple, but they've done a good job of damaging up these hallways. I think they've just added broken pipes where there weren't pipes before, but it's working. It's nice. Like, you could have just had this been the exact same sets, you know? Turn the lights down and be like, this part didn't get damaged. But they put the little extra effort in. Dang it, Spock, we should have scanned for life signs. Now, I want to remember why this guy has a special insignia. Because a lot of people think back in TOS, every ship had its own insignia, and the Delta was the Enterprise. I don't remember the motivation in a lot of these early cases, but, like, overwhelmingly, that's not the case. They're like, go to some prison, or it's some admiral, or they're like, there's something special about the person who doesn't have a Delta. And the Delta really is just the general Starfleet insignia. But this guy might be the exception. Cornucopia. I think looking at Matt Decker, I don't know, the performance is a little over the top, but not in a campy way to make it fun. And it's like, come on, man, just say, big cornucopia blew up the planet. Oh, yeah, I think he beamed his crew down to the planet and then the planet blew up. But, like, still, I don't know. You're a Starfleet officer. And you've probably been here, like, a while. You've grown a beard. Wait, which one? To molten lead planet or toxic planet? Unless you have, like, spacesuits for everyone. We just established you literally couldn't have beamed them down. I don't know. I guess we'll just sideline that. Yeah, he beamed him down to the burning planet or poison planet. He gave him a choice. Well, hopefully the third planet was a toxic one then, because space is also bad for, I don't know, killing the moon a bit. It's just a weird decision. Hey, 400. Now we know how many people work on the Enterprise. It is a good, like, scenario and setup. I just think that, I don't know, there's something about the performance of Decker that kind of takes me out of it. Not all of it's bad, but... And I think we spend a lot of focus on Decker. This director, on the other hand, spent way too long figuring out how to frame a shot through this grate. Who would actually talk like that? A cornucopia. I mean, it's a great image. I really wish we got to see the planet killer eat a planet, because it. Yeah, I bet we could do that cool in the modern era. Like I think we end with there might be more planet killers out. There's a bunch in the EU. And you know, we're like 20 years before the Death Star. I'm sure a planet killer wasn't like a particularly novel concept, but I also can't imagine you have too many things like the planet killer or the Death Star. And I mean, the planet killer is like autonomous, right? The Death Star, you gotta get the Empire to decide to kill you, but the planet killer just will. It's got that force of nature kind of vibe. But it's gonna hit Earth. I always love that line, too. Projecting back, we find it came from another galaxy. Yeah, if you project, like, a straight line backwards far enough, you'll leave the galaxy. Of course. They didn't... You know what? They didn't say Earth. Let's at least give them a... Yeah. You know what, actually, a planet killer really can't be that novel, because I just remembered it's the Cold War. Like, you're living under a very real threat of total nuclear annihilation. I always find it funny when people in old sci-fis call it, like, H-bombs or atom bombs, and it's like, you wouldn't call them that nowadays. Yeah, I think Decker just has a special patch because... Does anyone know what they are? They look like they're from something. You know, they're very intentional. Like, I don't know, they might have pulled it from, like, something Celtic, perhaps, but they might all be custom designs. I don't know. I think Decker's might also have been reused as the symbol for some alien. I just can't place it. But it is ringing some bells. There we go. I mean, there's something about the slowness of the moving of the size that's very intimidating. Yeah, that's very effective. There's just a mix. So like half the times to me, the Planet Killer really works, and the other half, I think the close-ups especially, it's just a bit weird. Like I'm not a huge fan of looking down the maw. I think that could probably be a little better. But I also imagine when they did the Planet Killer, they really tried to stick to that original look, which I've seen. I've never seen this original episode. But, like here, it's a little glossy. It's like a bit paper mache. And I get it's mimicking the original. It's supposed to be like stone and rock, but it does kind of take me out of it a little bit. Like, I don't know how I'd redesign it, how I might fix it, but it's just always seemed weird to me. I guess I would like something that has more scale to it. Like, you know, when you look at a Dideridax, or even heck, like the Death Star or something, you have the really tiny windows or the much smaller paneling to kind of give you a sense of how big the thing is. The Doomsday Machine, if you just like look at it in a black field, it could be the size of a planet, it could fit in my hand. You just don't really have a sense of how big the thing is. And so I think that's why I'm not a huge fan of it right here. But I like it when it's next to the Enterprise or it's doing like a really slow turn. You get that sense of scale. I should have got my Doomsday Machine model. Have that thing in front of me. From Eagle Moss. Does the Enterprise only have one transporter room? Actually, gosh, now I'm thinking. The NX did. Did Discovery have a single transporter? I guess that's just a thing I never noticed about ships this era. There's only one transporter. Huh. He's so disappointed. He's like, God, this is gonna be my job now. I feel that as a programmer. Sometimes like, yeah, I gotta do that thing now. Look, what is this bridge crew? Like, fair enough if they don't want to use the main officers. They're not on the bridge 24/7. I just feel like every other time it's the main officers, which is confusing me. I didn't hear what Spock said, but he probably did. Oh, look at that. That's too fast. See, you kind of ruined it. Rigel. Yeah, Rigel, I learned this with Strange New Worlds. Rigel has like 6 inhabited planets. It's the one with like that weird gas, the atmosphere that made it so you couldn't remember stuff from Strange New Worlds. The Rigelians are a known species. That planet Pike went to, and like the flashbacks on the cage is in Rigel. Go give a read of the Memory Alpha page for the Rigel system, because God, that thing's busy. I hope this one brings up the fact that Bones could be like, yeah, I don't think you're medically fit. Oh, see, no, he's a Commodore. He's not a captain. That's why he's got the special insignia. Have they said how long it would take to get to Rigel? I am like, is there a sense of urgency? Is it like in 3 years we could assemble the whole fleet, we could build a new one? I do like that conceptually. I wish we could show it more, but a neutronium hull that big, a ship that big, the Planet Killer, it just implies so much about like the power of these species. They're on another level to even like the Borg or something. Doctor, do you want to declare him unfit? There we go. Yeah, they are going to bring it up. He's like, oh no. I mean, so I feel like McCoy's the guy who'd be like, yeah, I'll throw away my career to die. Like, he's so certain he's right, he could claim it and then get the records, you know? Also, it's hilarious that Bones didn't know he could do that, you know? No, apparently we've just learned. I don't know. I feel like in 500 years of like, you know, 1,000 years now of Starfleet, someone would figure out a solution to needing to certify the guy first. I'd love, again, if there's ever anyone in the military, like, surely there's some sort of reasonable doubt scenario. And like, yeah, it's really bad if Bones is wrong, and it should be bad. This shouldn't be something that just gets pulled every day. But like, I think we got reasonable doubt here. We literally found him, like, catatonic on a console room, barely able to form a sentence, and then insisting he would stay on his dead ship. And he's also just suffered the fact that he led to the death of his, like, 400 crew members as he listened to them cry out for help. It's like, I don't know. Honestly, I think we might have some medical records here. Oh, that smile. Just, man, stop asking me to do impossible stuff. Or maybe he likes it. Maybe he just loves rewiring things wrong. Here we go. The big old whatever it does. No one knows what it does, but it looks big, and you use it in engineering. Okay, that was a very important clip. We needed that clip. Don't cut it whatsoever. Critical. I don't know. I know a lot of people love the Doomsday machine design. It's just the color and the material is it just doesn't do it for me. I think in the original it's a lot more black than blue. I don't know. It's just it's so close, but I can't tell you what's wrong with it or what I do. So it's the worst kind of criticism. Even that effect in the middle I said I don't like. Like, it's close. I guess it's that I can't figure out what it is. Is it like a sun in the middle? Is there something burning through a hole? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, there's something to be said about sticking power, you know? It's clearly a beloved design, and the episode sticks. And I think you get, there you go, in the remastered, just phaser fire from the sensor domes? I can't remember this for a fact, but I know the original Enterprise didn't have any visible weapons. I can't remember if the remastered adds some, because I know that was a big thing about the motion picture one, is it added visible weapons. I guess I'm just also not sure what the threat is when you're fighting the Doomsday machine. Like, just don't go in front of it. You're faster. We've displayed that. Sir, I'm a medical technician. I don't know the first thing about Impulse. I'm in blue. Oh, look at that. How'd you get in front of the thing? See? Taking it like a boss, though. Like, I don't know. I know I complain a lot, especially in modern Star Trek, that the crew's first reaction is to, like, mutiny. But if I was Sulu, even at that first discussion, I'd be like, look, Spock, I don't care if I'm fired, but, like, I'm on your side. I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to die today, Spock. Okay, if it was that simple, surely, like, attempting to stay on the Constellation would have been proof. That was attempted suicide. That's his medic. Like, Spock's not even a doctor. That's really well done. That slight glow, though, from the flame on the inside of the Doomsday machine. See, I told you it would matter if you didn't watch the remastered. Well, what? That almost looks like the original effect. That's not the CGI Enterprise, but it's way too solid. It's way too there. Ramming speed, Mr. Sulu. I picked that up is like a joke. Of ramming speed, Mr. Sulu. I have no idea where I got that phrase, because not once does Kirk ever tell Sulu to go to ramming speed. I don't think anyone ever rams something in Star Trek. That's a pretty good engine sound, though, for the stressed engines. In fact, I've just registered. Is this set new? That, like, secondary room that Kirk is in? It's a nice set. I thought you were relieved of command. Yeah, that... See, it's weird. I don't like looking down the maw, but then I do. This thing also gives me Guardian of Forever vibes with the material, the sort of rough, hand-sculpted kind of feel, you know, with the shapes. They're very irregular, but it's stone, like it was built. Oh, you got those. First thing I did. Let's not talk about that line. Also, look, I don't know how you would pay astronauts, but I find it funny that being the chief engineer of the flagship of the Federation is like a weekly paycheck kind of deal. Like, I don't know. What are you doing week to week that needs a paycheck? I get paid twice a week. Like, look, sir, we only have so much battery for the phasers. Really? It did it? That was so weakly done. I don't know. Decker's... I can't get into Decker. That's just always been my problem with this episode. But it's otherwise, I recognize it's well put together, pretty well paced. It's always moving forward, which is welcome for TOS. I kind of like that it has subspace interference. Like somewhere there's people who use these things in war, and it manages to not be detected, you know? This massive planet killer moving around the solar system, just planet to planet. I don't know, where to go. Look, Spock, I'll declare him unfit at this point. Beep! No. This episode would have been a 10 out of 10 if it had just like a 10-second TV bleep through it. Sulu, do you want to die today? Just take evasive action. I love this shot of Kirk. Like, his face is getting all red. He's clearly furious. I love the lighting, the darkness around it. I really made fun of the director earlier, but that was a good shot. Just punch his face, Spock. Come on. Look, I don't like Ethan Peck as Spock, but Ethan Peck would have punched his face. Never mind, I stand corrected, Spock. That's so much better than punching his face. I'm sorry I said Ethan Peck would have... Ethan Peck? Ethan Peck would have done something better. I don't think Spock has ever looked cooler. Look, we're getting rid of Decker, and this episode is immediately getting 10, 20 times better. Also, I love how these guards have been on the bridge literally the whole time, never before, just for this scene. Maybe 2 guys, though? I don't know. Like, do you really need that other guy? He looks real depressed. He's like, then they always go after Montgomery. They never let me arrest the Commodores. Oh, don't tell me you should have sent 2 guys. Who could have seen this coming? I'll tell you what, though. He's given it his all. He didn't just go down. Why can't we have more prison breaks like that? Look at that. The guard's actually competent. And sure, he's gonna lose the fight, but look at that. He almost won the fight. Like, man, why is it always just one punch and they get knocked out? That was great. That was so much better. You can have a little action piece. It only took, like, 15, 20 seconds of runtime. And it actually didn't feel lazy, I mean, it was obvious he was going to attempt to escape. Even if you sent both guys, have him instantly knock out the first guy, then fight the second, that'd be a lot better, too. Like, that... So many, they escape scenes feel really lazy and cliched because it's just that one-off obvious trick, and they just one punch, they're down. But that guy took it. Can we appreciate... I mean, I guess it's FTL communications, but that ship's communications can power the ship to, a third the speed of light. That's a lot. $1413.7. What, is that the seconds? And here we go, the shuttle bay. No idea what this shot was in the original. I quite like that shuttle bay, though. Maybe a bit bland on the top, but it does the job. You know that we can launch a shuttle in 3 seconds flat. Those bays really open when you want them to. We were just gonna sit here until you said something, Kirk. Which one is it? Is that Galileo? I can't tell. It was a little fast and I can't pause. Because I vaguely recall Galileo... Or no, Columbus gets destroyed, doesn't it? And then they call it Columbus 2 or something. But my memory says Galileo gets destroyed at some point. But also that we ignore that. That thing eats planets. I've never thought about it. Later this season, we have an episode about automating the Enterprise, right? It's like you can run the Enterprise with 12 people and everyone's shocked. Maybe he shouldn't have just went into battle on his own with the Constitution class. Oh, that's a good shot. We need you, not as an individual who's about to die, but as a commodity. See, that's good. I mean, I think the scale is all off if that thing's miles long and that's a shuttlecraft, let alone the Enterprise next to it, but, he wasn't exactly in a good state of mind. Look at that. What's that reaction? Is he burning up, or is he just psychologically not wanting to do it? It's also interesting to think, actually, these Doomsday machines were, legit used in a war. But apparently no one thought or noticed, just go down it and just fly down the middle. That might work. They're about to destroy our planet, but, maybe that'll stop it. I don't know. It's a good episode. It is a good episode. I think these little nitpicks, or like the more substantial critiques for me, um, they do detract from the episode. You know, they kind of stop it from being like one of the best. You know, but it is still a very good episode. It's one of the TOS's tops. But like I think the only episodes really that managed to get beyond the critique for me and be like the no notes are the sillier ones. Like genuinely, Spock's brain is a no notes for me. It's great. But anytime you try and do something serious, there's usually some things that get in the way for me. It's like, well, does this scenario actually like make sense that you're trying to get me seriously invested in? Yeah. I mean, I might have already proved myself wrong and said like no notes to balance a terror or something, but maybe there are ones later I'm not thinking about. Like I think the Enterprise incident's quite good, where they steal the cloaking device. In a 97-ton explosion. And it's a fusion reactor. So quaint. I thought we'd established we used antimatter, but maybe that's just in my head. I've already done it, sir. Second thing I did after the weapons. Rig it to blow. At least it's not me. No questions asked. Scotty knows, but he's just like, man, I just want off this ship. I want to go back to hating women on my Enterprise, as I do. Actually, that director had that one bad shot, but this is a good shot too. I think I rarely recognize direction, but I am really enjoying how this one's directed, barring that one shot I made fun of, because that was dumb. Even just the colors that are like the red light backlighting Spock with his blue uniform. I would never gamble my life on a transporter that's like on the fritz, you know, hypothetically, like putting myself in a transporter buffer for a few centuries or something. I'd never. All those other crew members, there's a yellow shirt and a blue shirt at least. Let's all remember that they are also on this ship. The yellow guy was walking around engineering, and the blue guy Kirk sent to help Scotty. I guess they didn't get names, though, so they're just gonna blow up. No, but, like, seriously, there are 3 other people on that ship. Maybe tell Kirk. We legit just forgot that there were 2 other guys, minimum. That is hilarious. Yeah, screw them. You know, they're not Kirk or Scotty. They're not gonna be in Strange New Worlds. That's amazing. Like, I haven't missed something. They didn't get beamed up before. They're just in engineering. I guess chilling. Why are you so sweaty? Like, it's probably all those film lights, but canonically, why are you so sweaty? I will say, this is really... It's gotten so much better since we got rid of Decker. I like how the Constellation, too, is a little jerky. You know, it's not the smoothest movement. Look, I don't like this shot. This is always the weak shot for me for the Doomsday Machine. The paneling just doesn't work. But the front down really is, except when it doesn't. I can't explain it. I know, I have a controversial hot take, and I can't tell you anything about why it's bad, what I think would be better. Yeah, well, that's not good. Did he say, oh? Did he go like, oh, not again? You know, for a Scotsman, I don't think Scotty really has any Scottish sayings or, like, mannerisms. Does he? He's got the accent. Well, you know, I mean, it works, but, you know. He's got a focal episode. Let's pay attention. But I don't think Scotty ever has a Scottish dialect in him at all. Huh. Give me 4 seconds. I do like how Kirk's always just super calm under the pressure. He's like, well, this is it. It was like, they'll do it. I don't know. It's Kirk is so much better in TOS than how he gets remembered. And you beamed up the rest of the raid team, right? Knew I was forgetting something. Well, rip those guys. F in the chat, everyone. Let's give an F for blue shirt and yellow shirt. And anyone I'm forgetting, they died for so that Rigel could live. And all it took was a nuke. How simple. Well, it worked. To be fair. But could you also mention how he tried to attack the machine? Because otherwise it's Spock's fault. I mean, I don't know. The 60s loved using nukes to, like, dig trenches and stuff. And you might say digging a trench is destructive, but so is what they did. So, you know. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, no, that was a good one. That was better than I remembered it. I think I'm settling into how I actually feel. It's that you tend to oscillate when you go and rewatch these episodes. Like, it's better than you remember, then worse, then better, then worse, then you kind of find somewhere in the middle. I definitely think Matt Decker's the weakest part. Partially the story, you know, guy goes crazy, does crazy things, I know that's an oversimplification, but broadly, I'm not a huge fan of those stories. But also, I think just the acting is, I said, or maybe he was directed to act like that as well. There was, like, I couldn't really get in a lot of scenes why he was doing the things he was doing. Like, as I said, when he was flying into the machine, like, what's that act? Is that terror? Is he getting burnt? There's no lights. Is he just generally crazy. And he was a little over the top, and again, not in a funny way, like a campy way, in what is an otherwise extremely serious episode. And he's just so blatantly unfit for command that, like, especially Bones being the kind of person who he is, who, like, he's told if he's medically certifies someone unfit, he goes, well, damn, like, clearly I can just say that. I don't need to prove it. And then he's told, actually, you'll need records. He backs down. He's like, well, he literally goes, like, well, guess I'll die. Like, the whole crew just, well, guess I'll dies with such an obviously unfit commander. It doesn't work for me. But once we get rid of Decker, you know, then we're just left with the strong pacing, the great direction, and it really works a lot better. It holds. It's a 50-minute episode right there, 49:33 on my time bar, that holds. It doesn't waste around for like 10 minutes to kind of get to the length of a normal Star Trek episode. And yeah, it's definitely very good. I think it's deserving of being up there in terms of episodes. Next week, we have Wolf in the Fold, of course, the bizarre one, but as I like calling it, the one where we establish that Scotty canonically hates women, just because I'm never going to let them get go of how they casually introduce that fact. Followed by Nomad with the Changeling, the Apple, Mirror, coming up in about a month's time. Yeah, Tribbles in about 2 months. Then I like the Roman one after that. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for TOS, and we're still going on. In Doctor Who, we get Chris Chibnall tomorrow. He comes in with 42. We get to talk about that. And then we got Human Nature, Family of Blood. Very strong 2-parter, what with the Fob Watch, where doctors pretending to be human. If you're into that, definitely go check that out. If you're like this, the Doctor Who watch-alongs like this, but they're better because Caden's there. Yeah. So I will say thank you all very much for watching.